25 Mario-style games on PS5 that actually feel like the real deal. No Switch required, just pure platforming joy. Starting things off strong at number 1, Astro Bot is without a doubt the crown jewel of PS5 platformers, and the closest any game has ever come to capturing the pure magic of a Mario title. Developed by Team Asobi, this game sends the adorable robot hero Astro on a galaxy-spanning rescue mission across over 80 beautifully crafted levels. What sets it apart is how cleverly it uses the DualSense controller, with haptic feedback and adaptive triggers that make every jump and interaction feel incredibly tactile and alive. It won Game of the Year 2024 for good reason, and if you own a PS5, this one is absolutely non-negotiable. Sliding in at number 2, Astro's Playroom comes pre-installed on every PS5 and serves as both a love letter to PlayStation history and a genuinely fantastic platformer in its own right. It takes you through 4 themed worlds that each showcase a different era of PlayStation hardware, packed with clever references and unlockable museum items. The level design is tight, the controls are buttery smooth, and the DualSense integration here actually set the benchmark for everything that came after. Do not skip it just because it came for free. It earns its place on this list entirely on merit. Coming in at number 3, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart is a visual showpiece that also happens to be one of the most satisfying 3D platformers money can buy on PS5. The game follows Ratchet and his new companion Rivet as they leap across dimensional rifts in real time, with loading so fast it feels like actual teleportation. The arsenal of weapons is creative and absurd in the best possible way, and each planet you explore feels handcrafted with care. If you want a game that feels like a Pixar film brought to life with tight platforming mechanics, this is exactly that. Arriving at number 4, Sackboy A Big Adventure takes Little Big Planet's beloved knitted hero and upgrades the entire experience into a full 3D platformer with serious polish and charm. Levels are imaginative, colorful, and packed with rhythm-based sections that sync gameplay to popular music tracks in a way that is genuinely fun and clever. The 4-player co-op mode makes it one of the best couch co-op experiences on PS5, and the difficulty scales well as at both casual players and completionists will find something to love here. Number 5 goes to Crash Bandicoot 4: It's About Time, a direct sequel to the original trilogy that brings back the Bandicoot with all the energy and challenge fans have been waiting years to see. The game introduces quantum masks that give Crash new abilities like slowing down time and phasing through platforms, adding fresh mechanics on top of the classic run and jump foundation. It is tough, rewarding, and visually stunning, with over 100 levels packed with secrets and alternate timelines to explore. A fantastic return for one of gaming's most iconic mascots. Rolling in at number 6, Crash Bandicoot and Sane Trilogy is the fully remastered collection of the original 3 PS1 classics, rebuilt from the ground up with modern visuals while keeping every ounce of their original challenge intact. All 3 games run beautifully on PS5, and if you never played the originals, this is the definitive way to experience where the platformer genre peaked in the late 90s. The jump physics are tight, the boss fights are creative, and the time trial modes add serious replay value for anyone chasing that extra challenge. Landing at number 7, Spyro Reignited Trilogy brings the beloved Purple Dragon back in stunning HD across all 3 of his original PlayStation adventures. The remaster is gorgeous, with lush environments that make you forget these games are over 2 decades old at their core. Spyro controls like a dream, with satisfying gliding and charging mechanics across open, exploration-friendly worlds full of secrets and collectibles. It is the kind of game that feels immediately approachable, but hides enough depth to keep you busy for hours across all 3 titles. Blazing into number 8, Sonic X Shadow Generations is a genuinely excellent 2-in-1 package that pairs a remaster of the well-regarded Sonic Generations with a brand new Shadow the Hedgehog campaign that surprised basically everyone who played it. The classic-style Sonic stages are fast, tight, and endlessly replayable, while Shadow's new story mode adds a more action-driven layer with unique chaos-powered mechanics. If you ever enjoyed high-speed platforming, this one delivers it in a way that actually feels fresh rather than nostalgic cash grab territory. Number 9 belongs to Celeste, a masterclass in precision platforming that also tells one of the most thoughtful and emotionally resonant stories in indie gaming. You play as Madeline, climbing a mysterious mountain, and the game uses that journey as a metaphor for dealing with anxiety and self-doubt in a way that never feels preachy. The controls are pixel perfect, the challenge is steep but always fair, and hundreds of optional collectibles push skilled players to their absolute limits. It is the kind of game that makes you a better player just by finishing it. At number 10, Hollow Knight Silksong finally arrived and immediately delivered one of the most acclaimed platformers of 2025. Playing as Hornet this time around, the game drops you into a vast new insect kingdom filled with challenging combat, intricate environmental storytelling, and a handcrafted world that rewards exploration in every corner. The movement system feels fantastic, with Hornet's silk thread abilities adding a verticality and speed that makes traversal genuinely exhilarating. If you enjoyed the original Hollow Knight at all, the sequel takes everything further. Number 11 is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown, a triumphant comeback for an iconic franchise reimagined as a Metroidvania that absolutely nails its execution. Set on the mythical Mount Koth, the game blends tight platforming with satisfying combat and one of the most thoughtfully designed maps in the genre. Time-based powers add creative puzzle solving and traversal options throughout, and the difficulty is well balanced, with flexible options that make it accessible without ever feeling cheap. It is easily one of the best surprises the genre has seen in years. Jumping into number 12, It Takes Two is a co-op platformer that requires 2 players to experience, and delivers one of the most inventive and emotionally driven adventures available on PS5. Each chapter introduces a completely new gameplay mechanic tied to the environment, meaning no 2 sections of the game feel alike. The writing is sharp, the relationship between the 2 lead characters is genuinely engaging, and the sheer variety of what the game throws at you keeps momentum going from start to finish. This one genuinely earned its Game of the Year win. At number 13, Rayman Legends Definitive Edition remains one of the finest 2D platformers ever made and holds up remarkably well on PS5. The game is bursting with creativity, from its painterly art style to its music-synced levels that turn platforming into something almost rhythmic and dance-like. Co-op support for up to 4 players adds to the fun, and the sheer amount of content packed in here, including ported levels from Rayman Origins, makes this one of the best value platformers you can pick up right now. Number 14 goes to Yooka-Replaylee, a full remake of Yooka-Laylee that improves on the original in essentially every meaningful way. The collectathon structure that was inspired by classic N64 platformers is now polished into something that feels genuinely modern, with reworked controls, improved camera systems, and cleaned-up level design across all the game's expansive worlds. For fans who grew up with Banjo-Kazooie and have been waiting for something to scratch that exact itch on PS5, this is pretty much the answer. Arriving at number 15, Neva is a visually striking action platformer from Devolver Digital that blends gorgeous hand-drawn art with emotionally charged storytelling. You control Alba and her growing wolf companion Neva across a decaying world filled with dark creatures, and watching the bond between the 2 evolve over the course of the game adds real emotional weight to every encounter. The combat is fluid and stylish, the level design is varied, and the overall aesthetic is unlike anything else on the platform right now. Number 16 is Ender Magnolia Bloom in the Mist, a gorgeous Metroidvania that builds impressively on its predecessor with a richer world, smoother combat, and a more emotionally resonant story. You play as Lilac, a young girl who can heal corrupted homunculi and use their abilities as weapons and movement tools throughout the game. The exploration loop is deeply satisfying, the boss fights are memorable, and the pastel-toned visual style gives the whole experience a distinctive and beautiful identity that sets it apart in the genre. At number 17, Shinobi Art of Vengeance is a stunning modern revival of the classic Sega Ninja franchise, developed by Lizard Cube, and earning some of the highest praise a PS5 platformer has received in years. The game blends cinematic presentation with tight, skill-based platforming and precise sword combat that rewards patience and timing over button mashing. Each level is crafted with real attention to flow, and the difficulty curve is satisfying rather than punishing for players willing to engage with its mechanics properly. Rolling in at number 18, Ninja Gaiden Ragebound is a brilliant side-scrolling action platformer that revives the legendary franchise with the polish and precision that made the original so beloved. The game is fast, brutal, and endlessly rewarding for players who take the time to master its movement and combat systems. Level design is tight and intentional, the enemy variety is strong, and the overall package feels like a genuine love letter to classic ninja action games, with enough modern refinement to keep it feeling fresh. Number 19 is A Hat in Time, a 3D collect-a-thon platformer that wears its love for Nintendo 64-era classics proudly and pulls it off with genuine charm and creativity. Hat Kid travels through colorful movie-set worlds, collecting timepieces, using different hat abilities to solve puzzles and access new areas. The writing is genuinely funny, the movement mechanics are satisfying to master, and the overall tone is endlessly cheerful. For anyone winning the lack of proper 3D Mario on PS5, this fills that gap better than almost anything else on the platform. Coming in at number 20, Antonblast is a chaotic, fast-paced platformer that channels the energy of classic Wario Land games into something wonderfully loud and destructive. You play as Anton, a demolition worker blasting through colorful levels and smashing everything in his path to reach the exit before a timer runs out. The momentum-based gameplay is genuinely addictive once it clicks. The level design is packed with secrets, and the overall aesthetic is maximalist in the best possible way. It is loud, weird, and absolutely worth your time. At number 21, Dead Cells is a roguelite action platformer that has been refined and expanded over years of updates into one of the most complete and replayable experiences in the genre. Each run through its interconnected castle levels feels different, thanks to the enormous variety of weapons and build combinations available to players. The combat is fluid and satisfying. Death is never frustrating because progression persists between runs, and the sheer amount of content added through DLC means you will be discovering new things dozens of hours in. Number 22 is Rogue Legacy 2, a generational roguelite platformer where each hero you play inherits traits, and the permanent upgrades you have unlocked carry forward across deaths. The art style is gorgeous, the class variety is enormous, and the skill ceiling is surprisingly high for what initially looks like a casual experience. The biomes are distinct and challenging, the boss encounters are well designed, and the way the game rewards persistence without removing the sting of failure is something very few games in the genre get right. Landing at number 23, Shovel Knight Treasure Trove is the ultimate edition of one of the most beloved indie platformers of the last decade, packing in 4 complete campaigns that each play dramatically differently from one another. Each campaign starring a different knight introduces unique mechanics, its own music, and its own boss encounters that make each feel like a standalone experience rather than simple DLC. For the price, the amount of quality content here is genuinely hard to beat, and the pixel art aesthetic remains absolutely gorgeous on modern displays. At number 24, LEGO Voyagers is a fresh entry in the LEGO game line, developed with Annapurna Interactive, bringing a more platformer-focused experience with tighter mechanics and a more cohesive world design than previous entries. The game leans into exploration and environmental puzzles, with a colorful cast of characters and biomes that each introduce new traversal mechanics. It is family-friendly without feeling dumbed down, and the cooperative play makes it a great option for anyone looking for something to enjoy with younger players on the same couch. Wrapping up the list at number 25, Croc Legend of the Gobos is the fully remastered version of the classic 1997 PS1 platformer, rebuilt by Argonaut Games and brought back to life on PS5 in 2025. The game follows Croc as he explores colorful worlds to rescue his Gobbo friends, with charming visuals, tight level design, and a gentle difficulty that makes it accessible to players of all ages. The remaster is faithful to the original, while adding modern quality of life improvements, and for anyone who grew up with the original, it is a genuinely nostalgic experience done right.